So over the past few weeks, I've addressed multiple issues. And one of the things that I've been getting asked all the time is now the time to panic? And I want to be very clear what's going on. And today we're going to talk about gas prices and how some are surging. We're going to talk about worker shortages and how they are causing potentially the next big crisis. But there's a lot of things that are wrapped into this entire issue and this big potential crisis that I want to address what's going on. Because again, it's coming from all angles. So here's what we know. First off, we do have high inflation. It's at 8.3%. It's actually come down since last month when it was at 8.5%. We're starting to see the economy cool down. This is happening across the board. You got big companies laying people off because they are not growing. And if you don't have any growth, well, you are stagnant. When you are stagnant, how do you pretend like you're growing? How do you make more profit? Well, you lay off your employees. That's not a good sign. We also know truckers. They're seeing that their trucks are not as full as they once were just last year. And I really want to touch on this for a second, because here's what's going on. Truckers, for one, they're actually starting to leave the field. Okay? They are quitting due to low wages and rising diesel prices. This is a major concern. And what we know is that diesel prices, just over the past couple weeks when they've surged, what this is doing is this is causing the spot rate for truckers to increase by 8 cents. Okay? 8 cents a gallon. That is, and you probably think 8 cents a gallon, that's nothing. It is. Okay? Actually, that's not 8 cents a gallon, that's 8 cents per mile. Okay, 8 cents per mile, and you're probably thinking that's nothing, but it is. If it increases 8 cents a mile, this means that truckers, okay, who are owner operators, they are losing 8 cents per mile. If they go 100 miles, well, you do the math. They go 1,000 miles, again, you do the math. The loss of wages right there, the loss of income, is substantial, and this is one of the main reasons why truckers are just quitting and leaving the industry. But again, truckers are seeing that their trucks are not as full. So if they don't have a full truck, okay, they don't have a truckload, well, why are they going to make that trip? Sometimes they won't, and guess what happens? The American people, you and I, we're not getting the products that we need. We're not getting fuel, not getting food. We're not getting the products that we ordered from Amazon. And Amazon's been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. They are seeing orders start to slow down. And there's two reasons why. Number one, they don't have the ability, they don't have the workers, they don't have the truckers to transport the products. That's number one. But number two, potentially the biggest reason why they're seeing their orders start to slow down. They're not as big. They're not as frequent. It's because the American people have less money. They're worried about rising gas prices, rising food prices, energy costs, housing, all right? And if they're seeing that their hours at work are actually being reduced and they have less spending power, guess what? They stop spending money. It's that simple. Now, if on all this we throw in the fact that there's also a diesel shortage, which means, and I saw this just the other day as well, is we were seeing, okay, in the area that I live, we were seeing that there was no fuel. Not diesel, okay? There was no fuel whatsoever in certain gas stations because they didn't have the truckers bringing in the fuel. There was nothing. So cars were just sitting. People were not driving. The streets were fairly empty. That's a big issue because if the streets are empty, guess what happens? That means businesses are not getting the customers in the door. Restaurants are not seeing the customers going to the door. Some people will not go to work if they cannot get there. Again, it's a major concern. Now, the issues that we are facing, they're not getting much better. And one of the things I've been seeing a lot online and on mainstream media is things are turning around. They're looking better. Things are not looking better. COVID cases are increasing. The war between Russia and Ukraine is still going on. It's not going to stop right now. No. Vladimir Putin has put in too much work, too much effort. And if he pulls out now, he's going to look like he lost, that he backed out. He's going to look weak. He's not going to do that now. But again, on top of that, COVID cases going up. We got the war between Russia and Ukraine, right? We got inflation, which is still very high. And now the American people are losing some of their purchasing power because they're not working as much. Again, it's a major concern. And the pressure, and this is another one. The pressure from the Federal Reserve to raise rates to bring down inflation is causing Americans to stop buying products out of fear. Okay? They're not buying because they are worried. And you know what comes after a fear of buying? A recession. A recession comes as a result of a fear of buying. People are just hoarding the money. Now, not only is a recession a major concern, there's another thing that has to do with inflation. That is stagflation. This is where we actually see some slow economic growth and rising unemployment. But this also coincides with high inflation. Okay? We are seeing slow economic growth. That is, okay, check. That's happening now. We're seeing high inflation, which we have been for quite some time. Check. We have that as well. But rising unemployment. You're probably wondering, why would I even bring this up? Because employment has been going down. Well, yes, it has been going down. But the reason why we are potentially going to see higher unemployment is because of the slowing economy. Let me just address this. Because once you get into this little circle, it usually doesn't end for a little bit of time. But businesses will stop hiring workers if there's no growth. Because again, remember what I just said. If a business wants to look like they're profitable, what is the first thing and the fastest thing they can do to look profitable? They get rid of all their expenses. Their biggest expense is their employees. If you lay off, let's say 20% of your staff, guess what? You have more profit, or some profit if you are not profitable. So that's the first thing that will do. But when workers cannot work, those people that were just laid off, they cannot work. The businesses that they normally went to buy clothing, to buy food like a restaurant, to grocery stores, let's say to their utility payments, right? All these different things. Those businesses will lose their customers. And what happens when those businesses lose their customers? Well, then they tend to lay off some of their employees. And the cycle goes around and around and around, and it just keeps continuing. This is a major problem. This is what we cannot get into. But the issue is we are already there. We're already here. And I've been seeing from a lot of people is, I'm not seeing my wages get cut. I'm not seeing my benefits get reduced. What I am seeing is my hours are getting reduced. Instead of working 40 hours per week, some people are down to 35, 32, 30, 28, and it keeps coming down. That's an issue, because if you are actually making less money every single week, every single month, that means you have less money to spend. So again, is it time to panic? Some are going to say yes, but I am going to say no. It's not time to panic yet. Okay, not yet, because there's still a chance COVID cases come down again. If they do, again, I think a lot of people are just tired of COVID, but this is still a major factor. Okay, if COVID cases come down again, which I believe they will, as people go back to work, especially as things start to get a little bit better, people will go back to work, and as they run out of money, people will go back to work. The only thing that is concerning to me is gas prices, the diesel shortage, okay? There's a food shortage. Those are the three things. Because if we see gas prices continue to go up, inflation is likely to go up, because gas prices are going to be, in everything that we buy. Food, okay? Doesn't matter if you're building a house, the lumber prices, right? They have to be transported. They have to get to you in some way or another. So as long as gas prices start to go down, now, are they going to go down? It's not looking likely. They will probably go up. But if gas prices can start to go down within the next, I'd say 2 to 3 months, okay, by the middle to end of summer, we'll probably be in good shape. But there's still a high chance we will be in a recession before gas prices go down. So, again, is it time to panic? I say no, not yet. There's still ample opportunities to get out of this mess, but you have to be prepared, and you need to understand what is going on, not just in the United States, but over in Russia and Ukraine. You gotta understand about the lockdowns in China, how all these things are impacting us here, right here in the United States. All right? So I will be here every step of the way. I will keep you updated on what is going on, how this is going to impact us moving forward. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, ask your questions down in the comment section below. And the last thing that I ask is if you like these more economic updates of what's going on within our economy, please comment down below and just write economic update. And also make sure you hit that like button on this video so I know this is something I need to continue with, so that you guys understand what is actually going on and how this could potentially impact us all within the near future. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.